Baby, it's a Friday, you guys, and you are with your attorney, the baddest in the business, the one who speaks without any fear, favor, or prejudice. I don't sugarcoat, I lay matters as they are, right? And today I think I should just speak about consumers because we are at any point in time become consumers, And here's what we need to know, and this is information for both producers, sellers of products, and consumers of products, purchasers of products. Basically, I'm talking about the Consumer Protection Act, right? And I will not just be touching on that, but I will also be touching of the injustices that I kind of see on the social medias, people doing it and thinking that it's okay to do that. No, no, ma'am. I'm here to equip you with knowledge, right? First things first, we need to know as to what happens when you purchase an item and it is somewhat has a default or a defect in it. What do you do? What do you do as a consumer, right? And sometimes you notice that the product is not defective maybe after a week or two or even a month of utilizing it, and you know for a fact that whatever the defect of that product, it is not within your fault. Like you didn't just drop the kettle into the water and it stopped working. No, not talking about that, but it's malfunctioning. It's switching on and off even without operated or whatever the case may be that you would have purchased that item. If it's within 3 months, please take it back to the retail store in which you have purchased it. If it's a week, if it's 2 days, please take it back. And within taking it back, they, as the suppliers of such a product, ought to either give you a new one or suggest to repair the product, right? Sometimes when they repair the product, obviously they want to know what could be the defect, and maybe that problem could very much assist them with the batch in which that product was actually released with all these other products, right? So they need to do that. And say now after maybe they had offered to repair the item for you, and even after that the item is still defective, they also repeating the same process. They need to decide, are we going to get this person a new cell phone, a new kettle, whatever the case may be, right? And the other thing that you also need to take into consideration that is also as equally important as the information that I just alluded earlier on is the fact that whatever you see in the store as advertised, it doesn't matter whose fault it is, you can insist on purchasing that item at that very same price. Say, for instance, maybe they made an error in saying that this full shigin is actually 20 rand as opposed to maybe 200 rand. That's their fault. And you can insist very much so to say that this is what was advertised, this is what you showed me, and therefore I'm going to purchase this at this price. Obviously, the employees and they are not going to budge with your story, so don't even negotiate with them. Instead, request to speak to the manager. And I'm not talking about people who actually intentionally and willingly actually swap the prices and maybe put this price on that other price, knowing very well that the item in which they want to purchase is not for that price. That one is actually fraud, and you can very much be arrested for it. I'm talking about genuine people who, in actual fact, saw an item, because it had happened to me quite a number of times. I'm not saying it happens all the time, but yeah, it has happened where I bought, I think it was Easter eggs, and it was put as like 19 rand, whereas the price is like 100 and something or 70 rand. And I insisted, and luckily one of the workers saw me and saw my excitement. Why is this lady smiling over this prices? Because I wanted to take more, but unfortunately that price was just on that item that I had. And I insisted, I'm like, no, give me your manager, I need to speak to your manager. Hi manager, this is the price that is advertised. And he was like, but it's written on you, and get it written by who? What if I'm an illiterate? I can't read and I can only read the prices. Don't make your problems my problems. I want to purchase these things right now and at the price that you have given, which was like 9 rand. Yeah, not even 19 rand, guys, like 9 rand. I paid for items worth 100 and something for like 9 rand. So it's not something to brag about, but you should know your rights, right? And there is also a tendency of people assaulting people after being caught shoplifting. I'm not gonna lie, shoplifting has its ways. Shoplifting has its ways. When I say it has its ways, there are those people who literally intentionally go to the store with the aim of shoplifting, depriving the owner of their things, and there are those who actually find themselves in there by default. When I say by default, you could find that perhaps maybe you bought maybe biltong while in the store, you're biting and nibbling on it while shopping around, and unintentionally, so as you were paying, you forgot to put in that paper. Maybe you're even done eating it, to put it part of the till so that it can be tagged. And in that situation, you leave the store at the gate, the alarm goes off, wagwan. You've paid for everything. It's not like you don't have the funds for it. And you find that there is an item that you didn't pay for, only to find that it was something that you were nibbling on. Or perhaps maybe a child, while in the trolley, they put something in there and you didn't even see it. And you push the trolley in front so that things can be loaded in, right? So those are the kind of shoplifting that they happen. Trust me, when you're in that situation, it's not going to be negotiable. It's not going to be negotiable, because you can tell them, listen, this is an honest mistake. It's something that was done by me in my ignorance at that time, or a child did that, and obviously they didn't know and I didn't see as well. And I know not even a single manager who has said, okay, I've seen the camera footages and I'm convinced that that was an honest mistake, and therefore I'm able to allow you to pay for that item and leave the store without involving the police. Like, it's a very rare moment, but it does happen. But those people end up finding themselves in court for shoplifting, right? And there are those who genuinely like go to the store and shoplift, and what then happens is that they would be assaulted, humiliated, even videotaped to degrade them, right? That is not within the law. Nobody's allowed to put their hands, I don't care how much of a thief you are. They are not even allowed to take your videos of you without your consent and so forth. What they need to know, I mean, because obviously it's within their territory. If they accuse you of stealing, they're supposed to call you politely so and take you to the storage room or wherever they keep you, and call the police. Call the police. And yes, obviously they can ask to search you. You would agree to it. Obviously no male is going to search a female, type of thing, right? So they can maybe call somebody to search you and find those items on you, maybe take the pictures of the items, obviously for evidence purposes. But to personally and intentionally take videos of you, that one is not within the law, right? And they're also not allowed to put their hands. I'm emphasizing on this because of this is something that happens quite a lot, and it's not within the scope of the law, right? So always guard against that. They're supposed to just take you to the storage room. Either maybe you are charged with shoplifting or fraud. This could be when you're swiping, or rather swapping the prices, putting this one for that one, putting that one for that one, because they're cameras. And also these stores are smart right now. They actually have not just video cameras, but they actually have employees who are not even in uniform, who could be walking around the stores and you don't even know them, because you think, ah, this is just another client, right? Who are actually looking. So some of you think you're slick and smart, maybe walking around the store, buying something and eating it while in there and leaving whatever the paper that is there. These people can very much see you and report you. And next thing, when they tap you, you act all shocked and say, ha, when did this happen? When did this person actually see me? So pay for whatever you want in the store. Don't be so stupid and deprive people, because at the end of the day, you're costing people's jobs. You're costing, owners quite a lot of money in losing these items, right? So they're not allowed to assault you. They're not allowed to take videos of you to degrade you and all of those things. If you swipe prices, you're charged with fraud. If you steal, you're charged with shoplifting. If it's an honest mistake, you try to talk your way out of it, well, they're not gonna budge on that. The only thing that you can do is wait for the court and your date in court and tell it to your lawyer as to what really happened. So yeah, happy Friday, guys.